it for him. Paul Williams, no. So there's not really anyone around. You know what I mean? It's just
right. And then so it looks like it also that we mentioned before in the junior welterweight division, Amir Khan versus Paul McCloskey. Looks like this is just kind of a stay busy fight for Khan before he takes on a real challenge.
Yeah, and he could have taken a real challenge in this fight actually too. You know what? But Amir Khan, I'm not going to call him a coward. I'm not going to say he's ducking the guy, but he should have fought Breidis Prescott in this fight. That's my opinion. Prescott, Amir Khan is the type of guy that he's been known to lowball people for their, his opponents for offers, and that's what he did with this one. That's why he couldn't find an opponent for a while. That's why Lamont Peterson wouldn't take the fight, and McCloskey at first wouldn't take it either, because in a fight that's going to be making millions in revenue in Europe, Amir Khan was just offering them $100,000, $200,000, which is peanuts. The only guy that said, I'll take that and I'll fight him and I don't give a damn, is Breidis Prescott. Khan should have gone for this fight. It's a fight that is winnable for him, and it can erase the only loss on his record. And you know what? For some reason, he doesn't want it.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I think Prescott has kind of been exposed since he fought Khan as a guy who's a very limited fighter. He's lost a bunch since then. And I don't think that it's necessarily a loss that haunts Khan. I think Khan proved his mettle versus Maidana by eating a bunch of Maidana's punches. And then boxers always make excuses. What Khan said afterwards was like, look, I shouldn't have been fighting during Ramadan, when I'm feasting. And when I'm fasting, I mean. And I kind of agree, that, okay, you know what? That was just an aberration. And I'm not terribly excited about seeing Khan versus Prescott. I think he would destroy him. The Khan right now, I think would destroy Prescott right now. I don't think that's necessarily a fight that I'd want to see.
Khan did say he did mention that he would fight Prescott later on after the Timothy Bradley fight. I'd just say just take care of it right now. That's just my opinion, because it's not, like you say, it is a stay busy fight. Why not pick the guy that just beat you? That's just my opinion on it. It's just that Prescott, like you said, he has stagnated since that big win, but he has a few wins under there. He went on a big campaign with his with the co-promoters Lou DiBella and Leon Margulis from Warriors Boxing. And not to say that he doesn't deserve the fight. I don't think he deserves the fight, but Khan.
Right, right. I guess you have a good point. If you're going to do a stay busy fight, might as well avenge that one.
Exactly.
But I don't think it's necessarily a black mark on Khan.
No, I don't say that. He's gonna do what he's gonna do, and he's gonna keep on growing regardless of what happens. But we'll see if he eventually fights him or not.
Right. And another fight that is just been announced, April 2nd, a rematch between Giovanni Segura and Ivan Calderon. Now this was what many people in the Ring Magazine considered the fight of the year for 2010. What do you think about the rematch?
Could be another great fight. We'll see. Calderon is getting up there in age. He doesn't have much power, never did, but he has tremendous skills, and he's slowing down a little bit. Segura, if he did what he did in the first fight, unless Khan pulls a Willie Pep like he did against Sandy Sadler in their second fight and fights the fight of his life, Segura, I believe, should beat him again, because I think he's just too big and too powerful. And Calderon, for all his skills, is just slowing down. He's been getting caught a lot more often. He's been getting dropped in his fights. He's just a small guy in general for that division, even at 108 pounds. I don't think it's going to take place. This is going to take place higher, correct?
I think
like 112, I believe, or something.
I think it might be at 112.
Yeah,
right?
and
Segura's been talking about moving up.
I think he's just a little too. I think he's still too small for that, Calderon. But it's still going to be a highly competitive fight, because Calderon, the speed and the skills of Calderon against the brute force of Segura. Look what it did the first fight. That was the fight of the year. It should do it again for this one.
Right. So this fight is going to take place in Acapulco, Mexico, and should be a good fight. That's one to look out for. April 12th. Okay. Before we go on with boxing, let's talk about some UFC results from the card this weekend. UFC 126. Now on one of the undercard fights, I was very impressed by this young and upcoming fighter, John Bones Jones. He fought and beat Ryan Bader, and he out-wrestled Bader. And Bader came in as a wrestler with a pedigree for wrestling. And, I was very impressed by John Bones Jones. And he's a young guy. He's one of the youngest fighters, I think, in UFC. And he's going to challenge Mauricio Shogun Rua next. And that should be a a really interesting fight. I always like to see Shogun in action because he's, you know, an action guy. And the rumor is, and this is what Shogun is saying, is that Quinn Rampage Jackson turned down a chance to fight, to rematch with him. And that's why John Bones Jones is getting the fight. That should be an interesting fight. I'm not sure what Rampage has to say about this. They did fight once before, and Shogun kicked the crap out of Rampage. So I'm actually really excited to see this fight. And then in the main event of the night, you had Anderson Silva in action versus Belfort. And that fight ended in the first round on a kick to the face.
Yeah.
I have never, ever seen that in UFC. Just one kick just landed perfectly. It was really shocking, really brutal, almost like when Paul Williams got knocked out by Sergio Martinez, just lights out, just like boom, right there.
Well, you know, that's the closest thing to Bruce Lee you have right now, I guess, in terms of those kicks and stuff.
You know, a lot of it has been said about Silva and his level of competition and some of his antics in the ring, but I don't think there's any denying. I mean, if you can drop a guy, knock him out
with a front kick,
with a front kick to the head, you know, hey, you might be one of the best fighters out there. Now you might want to be one of the best fighters out there ever. So hats off to Anderson Silva, and you know, this is fueling more talks of maybe a match with GSP, George St. Pierre. That should be a really interesting fight. That would be huge for UFC. Yeah.